Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the briefing on Friday, the 11th of November. Right, well, we certainly are in an interesting weather pattern. The BBC described it as long trailing weather front that goes to South America. Seems about right, and it's just feeding in warm, southerly, southwesterly airflow over us, certainly for today, tomorrow, and Sunday. And it then looks like things are beginning to sort of revert to sort of very changeable weather with the jet stream sat over us, and periods of rain next week. So make the most of the next couple of days, I say. You can see on the isobars they're tucked quite tightly together, not as much as yesterday. Southwesterly direction, the flow heading up to the northeast, and as the day goes on, I think that will space out a little bit. You'll find that for us, it'll drop in the wind just gradually over the course of the afternoon, and with that also we'll get a sort of raising in the cloud and a breaking up of the cloud as well, by the looks of it, which is quite a common thing when you're in this southwesterly airflow. It starts to dry itself out as the day goes on, and starts to get better. Pressure's still fairly high, so I think little chance of any rain within there. You might get spits, and that's purely because the thickness of the cloud just in the morning is just a bit too dense to sort of hold the moisture, and it just spits out of the cloud at odd spits and spots. Nothing more than that. There's nothing on the rainfall radar particularly. TAFs for Farnborough, 220, 10 knots. Yeah, I mean it's pretty much dead down, straight down. 2-3 really at the moment. So 230, yeah, 10 knots. The Lasham weather station showing a little bit more than that steadily. It's showing about sort of 14, 15 gusts up around the 20 mark, maybe a little bit more, but that'll slowly come back down and scattered at 1500 for most of the day, but that'll slowly dissipate. And they're just sort of tempo bits of broken cloud, but I think as the day goes on that'll go up, and they will be very broken, but I don't think they'll be that low. Nothing too much to worry about, and the chance tonight is the wind drops right off. Fog overnight in places, and certainly to start off with tomorrow, possibly fog in the valleys. Upper winds still fairly fresh. I think that might be a little bit more southwesterly rather than sort of towards southerly, but certainly the way we'll set up, we need to correct to the left to start off with on the winch launch. But 25 knots, 25 to 30 knots at flying height, so fresh. And I'll talk about that when we talk about the airfield setup, but certainly pretty strong at flying heights in the last couple of days. Sat pic just shows at the moment quite a lot of cloud filling in over us, but what we quite often see is in the channel it's clearer, and it starts to sort of filter this way slowly, and it sort of clears up as the morning goes on. So that's fingers crossed what we're going to get. Temperature wise, well, it already said 15 degrees on the car thermometer this morning, so in the shelter probably 17 degrees today. Mild. Yeah, humidity is quite high. It'll feel quite mild. You'll still require a coat out there because I think it's a chilly. There's enough of a breeze to have a chill to it. And top medio, the wind profile. This is the gust factors this morning. You can see it sort of showing initially in the morning 20 knots plus gusts, but as you wind it forward a few hours till sort of 12 o'clock, I think it's reducing up through here in this green band with the higher gusts moving further north. You see that by mid-afternoon the winds have dropped completely, really down to sort of gusts of maybe 15 knots at the most. So yeah, the wind's slowly steadily dropping, I think, as the day goes on. Cloud amounts, so 9 o'clock here's showing bits of overcast. I think this is more down here as well, just at 9 o'clock. And then as the day goes on, it just breaks up and starts to thin out. That's sort of 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock coming quite nice. So the clouds slowly breaking up as the morning goes on, going up and getting quite pleasant, certainly for the afternoon, with lighter winds. So not a bad forecast. Let's just have a look at tomorrow. Again, it's showing sort of clear most of the day, really. Let's want that back to sort of 9 o'clock. Might be bits of low cloud to start off with, but clearing through fairly quickly. Nice, pleasant day, light southerly winds, southeasterly. Probably a 09 operation, I would have thought, but quite a pleasant day. And again on Sunday, quite pleasant by the looks of it. So quite good this coming weekend. Okay, airspace wise, locally to us, there's nothing on the NOTAMs here to affect us. Odd bits and pieces that are just the normal stuff, like high intensity radio transmissions here and firework displays and stuff fly past inside airspace, but nothing to affect us. But what we do have is a fly past. There's a fly past in London. Actually, I'll look at that now. And what it is it's going round London and then right the way around the edge of the airspace and back to Bryce, and it will come past us at Alton VRP, which is the roundabout on the southwest side of Alton, and then up to Popham. I've got no timing on that. It's obviously going through London at 11 o'clock ish, and then it'll carry on that fly round. So I would have thought 11:45 maybe. It's C-17 Globemaster and Hercules C-130 plus a couple of helicopters, and they're saying that it's going to be anywhere between 800 and 1,500 feet above mean sea level, so fairly low. You know, if you're in possible conflict with that over Alton, you're not coming back to Lasham, so you might just see it. So that's just a bit of airspace coordination. No jet movements today. So far, I've not seen any flight plans. We're obviously going to have the 2-minute silence at 11 o'clock. We'll stop launching about 5 to 11. So if people want to then go down to the memorial, they can, and then we'll start again somewhere around 5:10 past. That's the break then, and just a quick chat on operations. 2-3 today. Obviously the wind's pretty much straight down it. We'll have the launch point vehicle set up just on the edge of the runway here, with the gliders on the tarmac here, and the cables coming down by the boom on the south side or southeast side of the runway here. We'll set all that up. Aero towing will just be on the edge of the grass here. Landings obviously as normal, either in here if you're doing a right-hand circuit, or in here if you're doing a left-hand circuit. Just be aware, use the runway as your reference point. Strong winds, don't undershoot. There's nowhere to go. The trees are intimidating down through here, so you're not aiming to land short, you're aiming to round out over the runway and touch down in here somewhere, for safety's sake. Fairly standard operation. We're not hugely busy, I don't suspect. The ground is drying out quite nicely, so shouldn't be a problem with landing on the grass. Okay, right, so I think looking at it, we'll go and get the gliders out and get flying as quick as possible, hopefully.